in terms of scouting itself, it just kind of trust what you see and believe in it. And I think that's tremendously important as you try to build a culture that you want.
What's up, everybody? It's Mike Dussault, Evan Lazar, and we are back at Indianapolis Scouting
Feels
Combine.
like we never left.
2024. We just sat right back down here at the table, and we recommenced shooting. First day, Tuesday, we actually got to hear from Eliot Wolf. Now, I've been coming here for 5 years, four total combines, 5 years.
Right.
We've never had a Patriots member of the front office sit down, talk to us. We haven't even seen somebody on the podium.
Yeah.
We got Eliot here today. We got him at the podium. We heard a bunch from him, which is, really just made this, I guess, the biggest piece of the day. So, biggest takeaways from what we heard from Eliot Wolf today, Evan.
Well, it's exciting to hear directly from Eliot Wolf for the first time, and he's made it pretty clear publicly that he is the one that's going to have final say on the Patriots' personnel decisions moving forward. So just looking at 3 separate instances where we got to talk to him today, our interview, which is going to be on Patriots.com, then the podium, and then a little side scrum just with the local reporters, it is different. Yeah. It's different. I'm not going to sit here and say that the old regime is horrible and all that stuff, but it is different. And I think it's really good that he has the confidence to get up there and say, hey, yeah, like the buck stops with me. Someone's got to turn in the card, and it's going to be me. And then there was a million other topics that we can cover that he talked about.
We'll get into them, but let's just start with some general ones first, which is that, Eliot Wolf, we know his dad, Ron Wolf, NFL Hall of Famer, Green Bay Packers, long time. This is Eliot's 30th combine. So, I think to me that just illustrated how long he's been around. And we don't know right now he's the director of scouting, I think is his position. It feels kind of GM-y. A lot of GMs and head coaches are speaking. But it just shows that this guy has been around the league for a while, and he's really earned this opportunity, and he really seems to be embracing that.
Yeah, look, he's a lifer. He grew up in this. He said he was 10 years old, and he's sitting there watching his dad and Bill Parcells and Al Davis time 40s at the Combine back when it was, as he said, kind of a mess. Like, there wasn't a lot of organization going on like there is nowadays. So that, I think, there's something to that. It's somebody that grew up in scouting and really has those roots, and now it's just, can he pick players? It's really just a product-based business from this point on out. Like I think he's really presented himself well, and he has great extensive background, obviously with the Packers, but also assistant general manager with the Browns for a couple of years. So has the experience, he has the cachet, if you will, to take on this role. But we'll see. The product on the field is what's going to determine everything.
Yeah, the quote I love was draft and develop. And I think that's something with the Patriots that's been missing. And, they really just haven't had that pipeline at a number of positions. Tackle comes to mind as one where they, seem to be kind of chasing their tails. But I think the biggest piece that both you and I took away, Evan, was that he said straight up, we're going to change the scouting system. And, the Bill Belichick system had been with the Patriots since he got, from Cleveland, developed it there, very famous. But talk a little bit about what he said, what changes about this system now.
So I think the biggest thing is now they're going to go to more of a value-based system where it's really about stacking talent on the board. So you're going to have a vertical and horizontal stack, I'm sure, but vertically you're going to stack players just 1 through 300, right? And then horizontally is where you start to get into positions and stuff like that. But I think the main thing is that this is not going to be as role specific as the old Patriots system. So the old Patriots grading system, obviously they had a scheme on both sides of the ball that was established and very entrenched. So you had very specific roles within that scheme. We view this player, James White, let's use him as an example. It's the easiest way to do it. Third down running back. This is what a third down running back looks like to the New England Patriots. This is what an early down running back looks like to the New England Patriots. Now I think that you're going to be looking at more of a system based off of pure talent. Just who is the best guys available at these positions versus slot receiver, outside receiver, third down back, early down back. And I think at times that does bog down scouts a little bit to determine who is the most overall raw talented type of athletes that they can put into this offense. I think defensively it's a little bit, every defense has role specific grading, I would say. This guy's an outside linebacker, that guy's an inside linebacker, but offensively it changes a little bit of how they're going to do things.
All right, so you guys can check out Eliot Wolf at the podium. We got to sit down with him before he went up to the podium, so you can check it out for yourselves here on Patriots.com and YouTube as well. Evan, let's talk a little bit though. This is just GMs, head coaches are speaking today.
Yes.
So we're kind of ramping up right now. This is about get into Indy, get your steak meal done, have some drinks, meet some people, and then we're really going to hit it hard tomorrow. But let's talk a little bit about just the preview of the next few days. We're starting with defense, and I know that's not your thing.
No.
We're going to have to look at some defensive players tomorrow. That is my thing, so I am excited. But just the start of a great week in Indy here, and we're going to see a number of guys, all who are going to be certainly among the intriguing players, 3rd overall. We talked to Eliot Wolf a little bit about that as well. So big week coming up.
Yeah, look, defense matters too. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but obviously the Patriots' needs are more at the offensive side of the ball, and that's going to be later on in the week. But looking at the defense, edge defender, I think, is one spot that we both agree. Whether Josh Uche and Anthony Jennings are here, Matthew Judon even here long term, that's one spot that they could keep it, need to keep stocked. I'd also look at free safety. Are they going to get a true Devin McCourty style center fielder versus last year they had a lot of box style, bigger safeties that were interchangeable to an extent, but also were similar, I would say, in playing style. So that's a big one that I look at. How do they want to play in terms of the back end in that respect as well? And then I would say one last one defensively that's kind of a sneaky need is outside corner, because you're going to have Christian Gonzalez, you're going to have Jonathan Jones, roaming around, but depth there at that spot. Not necessarily the 3rd overall pick, but a 3rd corner that can play out on the boundary. Is that in a guy like Alex Austin? Do you really look at those last couple games last year and put that much stock into it? So that's where I'm looking on the defensive side of the ball, and then we get into the offense. Then we get into the fun
plenty
part.
of time for that. Don't get too crazy, but I think too, just to point out, Lawrence Guy released last week, so we do think we have some depth there, but Godshaw, Barmore, all these guys have contracts up. One more thing I'll mention before we let you guys go is just, he did express they've had conversations with Kyle Duggar, Michael Onwenu, calling Michael Onwenu, a cornerstone type guy.
Yeah.
So at least as far as Eliot Wolf here, expressing desire to retain those players. So
yeah, I thought that was great. They said that, Eliot Wolf said that that's part of our core. Those are 2 guys that are part of our core. So the franchise tag, they'll keep the options open in terms of using the franchise tag, but it definitely sounds like they want to prioritize. And if you go back to, we were talking a little bit about Ron Wolf and Eliot's history with Green Bay, that's the Green Bay model, is draft, develop, extend from within. It's not to go outside the realm of free agency and spend a bunch of money in the free agent market. It's really take care of your core players, keep those guys in-house, and continue to keep the pipeline. I look at Kyle Duggar, I look at Mike Onwenu. I know both of us are in team extend Christian Barmore. Those are the Patriots' current core guys. That's their core group right now. So I do think that if you want to see the Packer way in New England, so to speak, we could see some of those guys extended and kept around.
All right, that's going to do it for us on day one. Now, we also have a podcast extended version you guys can listen to. We'll get even into more nitty-gritty details, but plenty to come this week in Indy. We're looking forward to it and hope you guys will join us for all the content we'll be bringing your way.